In the beginning, I viewed boxing just as most people may view it, as a sport. I never once thought about the business of boxing until I became a boxing manager at the age of 23. It was then that I got my first glimpse of how truly fucked up the business side of boxing was. Nevertheless, my journey started with these two guys hiring me to manage their respective careers. Without Jerry Belmontes and James De La Rosa, Adrian Clark, the boxing manager, does not exist. That would mean Protect Yourself at All Times and the education for fighters would not exist. That would also mean that the unethical procedures that have plagued this sport for decades will continue to take advantage of fighters contractually and financially. I owe Jerry and James a great deal of gratitude for taking a chance on me. No matter how much the business knocked us down, we continued to get back up and fight. Regardless of the wins, the losses, and the sour dealings that the sweet science may have served, I fell in love with the sport. With that said, I grew an overwhelming hate for the business of boxing continuously leaving fighters with the short end of the stick. Instead of talking about what boxing should do to fix the ongoing problems, I did what I do best. I created an entity that does something to fix the ongoing problems. Since 2016, my creation has provided thousands of fighters worldwide with an education of the business that protects them from the business. This is Protect Yourself at All Times, the beginning. I need some rings, man. Oh, man.
All
right. When did I start Protect Yourself at All Times? Man, 2016. 2015 actually was when I was in this space of trying to figure out like the issues in the sport of boxing and how they could be fixed essentially. I remember being at the crib. I got this high rise. I was living in this high rise that I could not afford in downtown Dallas. And I put up this dry erase board because it's like being up, I think I was on like the 13th floor, being up that high, like my thoughts, man, would just flow. It would be 1,000 thoughts at once. And I remember one night watching film, just watching film on boxing. And I like watching full fights as far as like the intros, like fighters walking out. I love hearing like the referees like giving the instructions and stuff. And I kid you not, man, when the ref said like protect yourself at all times, like I heard it. Like I knew that like that was it. Protect yourself at all times. I didn't know exactly what it was going to be, but I just knew hearing protect yourself at all times, like that's it. What it is, I don't know yet, but I know that's it. And it just stayed with me the entire night. I wrote it in big letters, protect yourself at all times on the dry erase board. And from there, I started to plan certain things and plan this symposium. That was the key. That was the end result for me. The big picture was the symposium. And like, it's funny to be here at this moment doing this because this is the setup for the symposium. I got to show you guys the beginning so you can really fully understand like the symposium. So that's when Protect Yourself at All Times started, 16, and that's why we're here for the symposium. But you got to get the beginning first. I can't make a film about boxing without mentioning my brother, because without my brother, like there is no boxing. And we fought all the time, man. Like that's the one thing that we did consistently, especially him being the bigger brother. We fought all the time, so I took a lot of ass whoopings coming up.
as a kid, man. But out of all the fights we had, I only remember winning one when like we got close to like adulthood. But it's because I started watching boxing. He was a big Mike Tyson guy, and I was a big Roy Jones guy. So coming from the barbershop, I remember, and I know I beat him just by the look on his face. Like I know I had got him, and I know he would have been like proud today, man. I wish I would have. Wish he was around to go to the boxing matches and be a part of everything that I have going on, man. But you know, death is difficult for anyone, man. And I was a young man. I'm still a young man, but I was a young man when my brother passed, and coping with it was different. It was different, and it took me a while, and I'm not fully healed from it 16 years later. But I always just take it as he sacrificed his life for me to be where I'm at today. You know, I sometimes feel like, you know, possibly it was me that, you know, was supposed to die June 4th, 2006, but, you know, my brother had a conversation with whoever, and it was him. He sacrificed himself for me to do my thing. So I always make a joke, like, yo, all them ass whoopers I used to take as a kid, like, if I don't do my thing and represent for him when he's gone, like, I got an ass whooping waiting for me once I get to the other side. So I got to make sure I do my thing. And that's why I go so hard, man. That's why I go so hard. And, you know, I make that joke, like, yo, I'm not taking no ass whooping once I get to the other side from him. When he sees me, he's going to be happy and embrace me, knowing that, you know, I did my thing not only for the family, but for the sport of boxing. So that's why it's going to be difficult for anybody to stop me or throw a monkey wrench in this, because I made a promise, man. I made a promise to this dude, and I'm definitely going to fulfill that joint, man. So, but I don't like coming here. It sounds weird to say, but it's good to see his face. It's good to see his face. I'm glad we got the new headstone so I can see his face, but it's, you know, coming here is like blah, but yeah, yeah.
So Brandon dies, and I'm kind of just in the wind, man. Like whatever. But I'm on my fourth school, and whichever school I go to next is my fifth school. So I started out at Howard Payne University, then came Grayson County College, then was Ranger Junior College, and then Eastfield College, which I was able to go home. And my brother got sick, so I was able to be there with him those final months. But you know, now it's time to choose another school and to finish college. So it was between Norfolk State in Virginia and Texas A&M in Corpus Christi. No sports, just go to school and finish. So I chose Texas A&M in Corpus Christi, and I wanted to see it before I actually, you know, committed to it. And I knew it was close enough to home to get back, but far enough away where my mom couldn't pop up. So we drive down to go see it, and I just remember the palm trees and the water and the big sign, Texas A&M Corpus Christi, and it felt real. It felt like home. And I knew it was real when my parents dropped me off and they left, and I didn't cry, because the other schools I always cried when my parents left, but I didn't cry because I knew like this was it. I had to make something happen because I promised my brother. Well, you know, while being on campus, like I will always see this dude running. You know, we're in Corpus, the weather's nice, you know, people got their shirts off or whatever. So I would always see this guy running, and I would see him specifically around campus just running. Like I remember I saw him so much. I remember stopping him at one point by Surf and Jetty. And I was like, yo, like, bro, where are you running to? Like, why are you running so much? And I remember he told me, like, you know, I box, bro. And I was like, okay. So he has my attention now. So I'm like, box. My brother and I used to box. And I'm like, okay, well, like, where you box at, man? And he told me, like, neighborhood center. And my wheels are turning at that point. And I just asked him, like, yo, like, can I go? And two strangers meeting, essentially, and we go to the gym. But Oscar Salinas was the guy that actually took me to the boxing gym. And it started because of my brother, but Oscar Salinas was the one to take me to the gym, man. And it's really, like, history.
My name's Oscar Salinas. I'm a prosecutor and attorney with the Bexar County District Attorney's Office. Been there for about 8 years, and prior to that I was a boxer from the age of 12 to right before law school in 2010. I'm grateful that our paths crossed because knowing Adrian, I know how dedicated he is, I know how hardworking he is. I know that he's a person who's got a lot of ambition that very few people have as much ambition as he has, and I tell my friends about him, now in my current life, which my new life is, being an attorney with the district attorney's office, that I say, I knew him from when he first started. I'm the guy that took him, and now he's doing big things and he's doing important things, and I try to humble myself and not say it's all because of me, but I'm glad that I had the opportunity to be one of the first people in his life in that respect.
I'm grateful for Oscar and him running so much, because if I didn't see him, who knows where I would be. But that's how we met. That's how this whole thing began, and yeah. And what gym do you fight at?
The neighborhood centers.
Good to see you. Can I give you a hug?
Oh, yeah.
Good to see you, bro. Good to see you, man. How you doing?
Welcome back to the gym.
I know, right?
It was good.
Did you? I'm trying to find. I know Ernest is up here a lot. I can see him right there. Yeah, I'm about to say, I'm right here.
You're over here.
Oh yeah,
So
I'm here
buddy,
again too. Me and
buddy.
Brian.
I don't know his name.
Brian, we call him Flex.
Yeah.
Who is this, Coach?
Yeah, that's James Elizalde.
Okay. Man, Ernest.
Yeah, that's Artie. That was a Corpus Christi kid.
Oh, there we are again right here.
There we go. There you got about there.
Oh man, so many memories.
So
And it all started here, man. It's crazy. It all started here. It's funny how life works.
Yeah,
It's funny how life works. So I remember we learned how to throw jabs over here. We had to look in the mirror, like throwing the jabs. Like, yep, right here. Man.
So, welcome home.
I know, right? This is where it started, man. This is where it started. Don't let the celebratory welcome home fool you. There were a lot of ass whoopings handed out in this gym. Majority of those ass whoopings were handed out by this guy, a then 14-year-old Pete Pedro Guerrero. So while I appreciate Coach for the warm welcome home, the initial welcome to the neighborhood center was an ass whooping from Pete. That footage will remain hidden forever. Before the bell rung, I remember, okay, this is my first time sparring, but I know how to fight. Like, this should be easy. Like, I don't know how to box, but I'll figure it out. And I remember I came out kind of weird. I think I was kind of backwards, and you came out here, and I was like, what the hell is that? So once we got to the middle of the ring, bruh, come to the middle of the ring real fast. Hey, Coach, like, when he was walking up, he was coming out, I was thinking it's all good. Once he got close enough to, like, hit me the first time, that's when I knew, like, yeah, I'm in a totally different world at this point. And I think I only sparred you twice. I sparred you then because the next time I sparred you, you were doing this weird thing to where you would put your hand up like this, and I would look at your hand go up, and then you would hit me with your other hand. But it's just crazy, bro, to look at you now as a grown-ass man. Yeah, bro, you're a father now like me, and then this dude put it all together for us, man. So, but I tell everybody that story. Like people, like literally around the world know that I was beat up by you. My first time in the boxing ring. Oh, so you told? So he told you? My brother, man, it's good seeing you, man. Now that you have a better understanding of the beginning of boxing for me, I want to provide a glimpse of the beginning of what I like to call my legacy project. All right, so Pete, for the symposium, like, you have to like, and bear with me, cause I'm a creative, so I'm in my bag trying to think backwards, but and Rita Bailey, Rita can attest to this. Back in 2016, like I had this image in my head that was playing, and I saw this empty arena, and like the ring is the stage. The ring is the stage, and you got the empty chairs around you. So it filled out the arena. So it was a boxing atmosphere. And if you ever been to a boxing match before, like that atmosphere is like electric. Even if there's like no one there, it's electric. But I would sit and tell Rita my vision. And the vision was, Rita, empty arena, the boxing ring is there, and like lights is dim, and like the music plays, and like whatever song it is, like I walk out. And this is before Ace. This is pre-Ace time. So the ring walk wasn't with a toddler. It was just me. Walk out, I enter the ring, and I got my uniform on, and instead of a fight, instead of me getting ready to fight, what I'm doing is essentially like a TED Talk where I'm going over boxers or business owners or planning for retirement or paying taxes. I got 3 minutes each round to deliver a message that these fighters and their families could stick with. They can further understand what it is that we're doing. I got 3 minutes to deliver that message, and then the bell rings. And it's the end of that round, and then I go back to my corner for like the 1 minute of like a comic relief, essentially, of me and my boys like joking in the corner, or me getting some water. Got to have the ring girls there. It's not a production without the ring girls. And then bell rings again, and it starts the next round, and I come out with the next topic. I would tell Rita this all of the time, and she would just say, like, when are you gonna do it? And it's like, I'm gonna do it. It's just, I'm getting my thoughts out, and to be able to share that moment with, like, now I have a kid, now I have a son, and to share that moment with Ace and have him there to see it. Although we didn't do it live, but to set it up to where we do it live, I can't wait for the actual live show. And me walk out and the arena is filled at that point, where the chairs are not empty anymore. There's people anticipating what I've been talking about for years, what I'm talking about now. That's gonna be crazy. Crazy. Yeah. One thing I love more than creating is executing. Thinking of something, seeing it in my head and figuring out how to get it out of my head and into my hand, or in this case, in front of my face. I love that process. One idiosyncrasy, meaning quirk or weird shit, the idiosyncrasy that I have is that I need to see it or simulate it before I do it. Whether it's my books or another project, I need to have that initial trial run. I love a blank canvas, man. I love it. For this production, it was important for me to see the canvas, to feel the canvas, and stand smack dab in the middle of that canvas to really paint this masterpiece. We shot this particular part a month before production, and as I said earlier, I have to see it first. I want to show you guys the beginning of Protect Yourself at All Times, the symposium. Since the beginning, my mind has always flirted with, how can I help all fighters learn the business of boxing?
What can I provide for them that could continuously drive home the point of protection in regards to the business? I came to the conclusion that if I can impact my audience through entertainment and creativity, the lessons would stick.
We'll walk out like this. Got a nice ring to it. You can walk straight. So we're gonna wait for this one. We'll let it sizzle. Keep your head forward. Okay, you ready? We'll walk in a bit. 3, 2, 1, walk. Go.
Can you see what I see? I see a crowd of a few thousand people going crazy for this introduction. I see laser lights, fireworks, all the theatrics that make a live show next level. Remember, I have to see it before I do it, even if it's in my head. Are you sure you can't see it? Let's play it back. I think you'll be able to see it now.
I'm living in that 21st century, doing something mean to it. Do it better than anybody you ever seen do it. Screams from the haters, got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero need his theme music. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. Broken, the school's closed, the prison's open. We ain't got nothing to lose. Everybody we rollin', everybody we rollin'. With some light-skinned girls and some Kelly Rollins. In this white man world, we the ones chosen. So good night, cool world. I see you in the morning. I see you in the morning. This is way too much. I need a moment.
Audio's rolling there. Camera A rolling here. And
ladies and gentlemen, from the Richard M. Borchards Fairgrounds in Robstown, Texas, here we go. Here we go. This is where you cursed me. You cursed me, man.
I was gonna ask you, have you ever stumbled before in a live show? Live show, have you ever like?
I mean, it happens.
So no, it don't happen.
I'd be lying if I said I never stumbled on a word.
Gotcha,
but
gotcha.
You do everything you can not to.
So pretty much you're saying in like 500 shows you rarely stumble when it's live.
Rarely.
Yeah, right.
Early in my career,
yeah.
When I was, the nerves were there.
Got you.
You find yourself stumbling a little more when you're nervous.
I got you.
But the more relaxed you get,
right,
the less mistakes you'll make.
Got you.
Doing this.
Hey, no pressure to land this, man, in one take, man.
You're making me nervous. I'm definitely going to stumble. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Richard M. Borchard Fairgrounds in Robstown, Texas, the time has arrived for our main event of the evening. 12 rounds of vital information to educate amateur and professional fighters on the nature of the business of boxing. It is all being brought to you by Protect Yourself at All Times, Mark Murphy's Sequoia Private Client Firm, along with Stephen Phillips CCG, Certified Public Accountants Firm, in association with Desi Martinez and Associates Law Firm. Sponsored by Everlast Worldwide, greatness is within. And now, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are on hand to witness the most anticipated performance in the history of boxing. Introducing, fighting out of the red corner, he comes to the ring wearing black with trimmed red, and his professional resume, an impressive one. He is the creator of Protect Yourself at All Times conglomerate, author of the #1 best-selling professional boxer book of all time, according to Book Authority. The writer, director, and executive producer of the short film titled Protect Yourself at All Times, The Beginning, available on all streaming services in spring 2023. Introducing Forbes Magazine 30 Under 30 sports entrepreneur, Mr. Protect Yourself at All Times himself, Adrian A.C. Clark.
All right, camera A is rolling.
Like I said, this is, even with it rolling, like this is all just live. It's just me kind of spitballing in regards to what we've already done. Boxers are business owners. First round of Protect Yourself at All Times is always boxers are business owners. So the reason why I reiterate time and time boxers are business owners, because it's the one thing that most fighters don't understand, that they are a business owner. But the reason why most fighters don't understand they're business owners is because of the amateur circuit building up to the professional ranks. From 8 years old all the way up to 17, 18 years old, you're being programmed to follow. Go sit down over there. When you are registering for USA Boxing, they make you go sit down or they make you stay in your room. It's the coaches filling out your paperwork. It's the side coaches making sure things are good. You're playing the background. You don't know what's going on with the paperwork. You don't know what's going down in regards to operations. But that's the key time where you need to be honing in on what it is to take care of your own business. If you learn to take care of your own business at a young age, from 8 all the way up to 17, it makes it easier to turn professional at 19, 20 years old, and you're able to fill out your own paperwork. You're able to hire a manager and sit them down and interview a certain way. You're able to understand that I have business to handle and it needs to be handled a certain way, but I'm the key factor behind it all. That's the reason why I start with boxers or business owners, thus give you a reason why I partner with USA Boxing to help educate amateur fighters and their families on the nature of the business. The reason why fighters are taken advantage of contractually or financially is not because of what goes on in the start of their professional career. It's what they're not learning at the beginning of their amateur careers. So as long as you guys are starting to get programmed backwards in regards to amateurs learning how to handle business, about the time your first day comes as a professional, you'll understand the game. The worst thing to do is try to understand the business of what you're going to be in your first day as a professional. You have no past experience, and then all of a sudden you're supposed to understand that you're a business owner. Your first day on the job, it doesn't go that way. And that's why most fighters are taken advantage of contractually or financially, because they look to learn the game way too late. It needs to start in the amateurs. That's why I start with boxers are business owners. That's the way that it'll go. So when we do it like live, like me, that was just me focusing in on the cameras. But when we're live, like say if we do a show here, like I got this side to like interact with, I got this side to interact with. There won't really be too much on this side of me, but if we do ringside, there'll be individuals sitting right there. So I'm gonna have to like go like 4 corners with it to where, like I know you told me to stay within this dynamic, but once we live, like I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna be here, and then I'm gonna be here. So I'm gonna turn it like Macho Man. Remember Macho Man used to come in the ring and shit, he used to spit? It's gonna be incredible 12 rounds for me to keep spinning, but that's why when I do my rehearsals, like I walk in a circle or I spin, because I realize, okay, if I'm dealing with these corners in the ring on the night that we actually do this shit live, I'm gonna have to turn every single round. But the cool thing is this, like I think that was probably, I didn't time it, but that was probably like 2 minutes and maybe 30, 45 seconds. Once the round is over with, when we're live, instead of like us cutting, it'll be like a comic relief essentially, to where I'll go to my corner, but me and my corner will be someone to help me. All right, round 2 is understanding what you're signing. Give me some water, of course, or whatever. There'll be some type of comic relief in between. We'll have a card girl or some shit like that to make it funny, to make it interactive. But this will be my 1 minute or 30 seconds to understand what's next, hit on key points or whatever it is, and then once the bell rings, like we're right back on it. So the shit is gonna flow over 12 rounds. It's not gonna be where we have to like stop and say, if something fucks up, then like y'all have to have it fix it between that 1 minute. So even when I'm talking for the 3 minutes, whatever messes up, like that's y'all time to fix it in between, because once that bell rings, I'm right back on to the next round.
So that'll be how it looks. It'll be a lot more turning and a lot more spinning in between. But yeah, I like that. Planning for retirement. One day, man, it all ends. It all ends, and it ends differently for different fighters. Some people have time to like plan it for like, okay, this is my farewell fight and this is my last one, I'm not gonna come back. Some people plan it, do it, and then they come back again and they retire once more. And then some people, they have an eye injury or a neck injury or a hand injury or something that they didn't see coming, and there's no time frame on it. There's no, oh, well, you know, at 35, I'm gonna be out the game, or at 32, I'm gonna be. Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, like those guys are rarities to fight till they're 35, 40 years old and make millions of dollars and ride off into the sunset. Those should not be the examples. Like, those are good things to shoot for, but in regards to Manny Pacquiao and Floyd, especially being the example of planning for retirement, it doesn't go that way for most fighters. When Jerry Belmontes retired, that's not something that we had time to plan for from the beginning. We didn't think to plan for it from the beginning. We literally were just focused on the journey, and we were going 100 miles per hour, enjoying it, and then it just kind of happened. And you know, you go from fighting and losing, and then next couple months you're planning a retirement, and you're doing a press conference, and it's like being at like your own funeral, and you're able to speak at your own funeral because one career is ending and you don't know what you're going to walk into next. So that's why planning for retirement from the beginning is important, because you don't really know when it's going to end in professional boxing. You don't know where it's going to take you or how it's going to take you. So being able to plan from when you are making your debut of, okay, I don't know how long I have with this, but every fight I have, I'm going to set aside 20% of it or 30% of it. Once you start making major checks, sometimes you just say, look, I'm going to put this one away. This is my retirement check because I don't know what the next fight is going to bring me. Planning for retirement is huge, and it's honestly not as spoken about as it should be, because most people just don't know how to do it, and there's not a set company that teaches the fighters how to do it. And then also most fighters think that it's never going to end. And I'm here to tell you, man, it ends, and it just ends differently for different individuals. So planning for retirement doesn't start at your 20th fight or 25th fight or your 15th fight. Planning for retirement starts when you are 0-0. That's planning for retirement. What time is that? 10:44. Okay, so in my head, I swear to you, I was thinking, all right, I'm about at 2:44, but I wasn't sure. So I would have had a stronger like ending for that to reiterate something, but I did feel like, okay, I'm inching closer to 250 something, but 240, what time was it? 2:44. Okay, so I had 16 seconds to play with. I usually know 3 minutes like the back of my hand, so I do enough rehearsal and spinning to where I can feel it. But when we actually do the show, like, I would need at least two. Like, I need time. I would need clocks, because someone signaling to me, I don't need that shit. Yeah, what's up? I wanted to do this in like a tuxedo, to where it's like, not, I hate the term funeral. I keep using the funeral, but like, retirement is serious. That transition from being a pro athlete, especially a pro boxer, to retiring, it's a bitch. So I wanted to make it like look like really serious, but trying to think how the hell I'm gonna throw on a suit within that 1 minute of being in the corner. We'll have to put everything fucking black for me to do that. But yeah, I'll figure out.
Think about that.
Yeah, but
maybe even if it's just a jacket that you throw on to make it seen or something
possibly,
like that.
yeah. I think like in a minute we could figure out something, but yeah, I want the clocks to be here. If we go stadium status or some shit, if I can see it up, then cool. But for right now, I would want it to be on the ground. So, you know, this whole everything that we're doing today. Can you listen to Daddy for a second? Everything that we've been doing, man, is important, not just for you, but for fighters and families going forward. Like,
Boxing is always going to be a part of you. I don't want you to do it full time, but if that's what you choose, I hope that you're damn good. But I'll support you. But we have a family business. Do you know what Daddy's business is? What's Daddy's business? Yeah, it is boxing, but it's protect yourself at all times. Okay?
Yep, but protect yourself at all times, fucking.
Exactly. So look, hey, look, Daddy's gonna read this to you. Okay? I wrote this for you a long time ago, but I want to read it to you right now. Okay? It says, to my son, Ace, I wrote this book while you were kicking and moving inside of your mother. As much as this book is directed to prepare others for whatever fight they will have in life, I penned this book thinking of you. I am often asked, will I raise you to be a professional boxer? Although my answer is no, I want you to know that your mother and I support... Stop talking, please. I'm sorry, I can hear you. I didn't mean to be rude, but I can hear you. It kind of echoes a little bit. All right, we're gonna start over again, okay? Okay? Hold up. Even when you whisper, I can still hear. So you're gonna talk, go outside for a second, please. It throws me off. To my son, Ace, I wrote this book while you were kicking and moving inside of your mother. As much as this book is directed to prepare you Give me a second. Trav, I'm good.
Yeah, you good. You're still rolling there, right? Yeah. All right, here we go. Camera is rolling, audio is rolling, and...
Okay. To my son, Ace, I wrote this book while you were kicking and moving inside of your mother. As much as this book is directed to prepare others for whatever fight they will have in life, I penned this book thinking of you. That's all good. No. Keep it where it's at. Keep it where it's at. Remember, it's like rehearsal. I'm often asked, will I raise you to be a professional boxer? Although my answer is always no, I want you to know that your mother and
I hear you, Nana. Your voice is hearing you.
Hey, let me finish reading this to you, and then you can talk. No talking while Daddy's talking. I want you to know that your mother and I will support you whatever you choose to do in life. My only hope is that you take the principles of this book and learn. Hold up. Mom, please go outside. Can you please go? If you're gonna distract him, like, even though this is like rehearsal, I still need this to, like, don't work against me at this point.
Is she sad?
No, she's not sad. Keep all of that. Like, even this part, like, keep that. Like, that's one of the struggles I had going through building Protect Yourself at All Times, is there's outside distractions from whether it's family, friends, or whatever. And sometimes you have to ask people to leave or step out so whatever you're working on can get finished. Sometimes that's your mom who just was asked to leave the building. We're gonna go through this and then you can go hang out with Punkin. Okay? Almost done. So to my son, Ace, I wrote this book while you were kicking and moving inside of your mother. As much as this book is directed to prepare others for whatever fight they will have in life, I penned this book thinking of you. I'm often asked, will I raise you to be a professional boxer? Although my answer is always no, I want you to know that your mother and I will support you in whatever it is you choose to do in life. My only hope is that you take the principles of this book and learn them before stepping into the ring of life. Although I am fighting for your life to be better than mine, you will eventually have to fight your own fight. You will be ready for whatever opponent is in front of you. No matter how big, no matter how strong, no matter how skilled your foe may be, you will be raised to compete and not run away from adversity or disadvantages. Boxing will always be a part of you. Boxing will teach you control. Boxing will help you grow. Boxing will help you learn. Boxing will keep you disciplined. Boxing will teach you respect. Boxing will keep you in shape. Boxing will help you think. Boxing will help you love. Boxing will take you all over the world. Boxing equals life, son. I will be at every fight that you have. Even after I'm gone from this earth, I will still be with you during your fights. I will still be able to guide you. Just read my books, son. Daddy loves you very much. And one day, when you get older, you'll look back at this and you'll be able to see yourself on camera as a kid, and you'll take what I just said seriously, hopefully. But I love you, man. Can I get a hug? I love you, okay? All right.
So why is protect yourself at all times so game-changing for the fighters and the sport of boxing?
You know, with other sports, man, you got other major sports. They have the associations and they have the player associations and the unions to protect the fighters. And it's always crazy to me. Like, this is one of one. Protect yourself at all times is one of one in regards to professional boxing. The sport has been around for a century. And just to think that, like, this kid from Dallas, Texas, from Pleasant Grove, will grow up like loving football, loving basketball, going through my whole childhood, like my whole teenage stage, not even, you know, caring too much about boxing, to get to the point of, like, you're the one that created the system. You're the one that created the education, the information for fighters and their families to not get the short end of the stick, to not be taken advantage of by the business. Like, I'm the guy that created that. Like, that is I don't think I'll ever, I think maybe when Ace gets older and, you know, maybe he takes over things, maybe it'll process, but like, I can say it, but it's like, my job is not done, you know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, I know it's important, I know this is great and everything, and it really helps out the fighters. I've seen it and heard it with the messages and what people have told me, but it hasn't hit me. And I don't know if it will anytime soon, maybe when Ace is taking over things and maybe it hits, but right now it doesn't hit. But this is important for the fighters. This is totally game changing for the sport of boxing, and this is a staple that is going to be around long after I'm gone, long after you grieve, long after things move on. Like, protect yourself at all times will be known as something that helps educate fighters outside the ring in business, and that's special to me, man. That's really special to me.
So, after all of this, what's next?
Do you know what's next, bro? Like, you know what's next. It's the symposium, bro. Like, we gotta go back to Robstown, and, you know, it's gonna be totally different because now it won't be empty. Like, now it's gonna be, you know, I say thousands of people, but hundreds of people is being realistic. Hundreds of people, man, you know, your family, like my family, like all of our people, but to actually do this for real, like a live symposium, like, you know what's next, bro. You know what's next. Yeah.
Broken, the school's closed, the prison's open. We ain't got nothing to lose. Everybody, we rollin'. Everybody, we rollin'. With some light-skinned girls and some Kelly Rollins. And this white man.
We rolling.
We're rolling here.
Man, protect yourself at all times, man. This is final day, and there's been a lot of work put in and a lot of interesting things that went on to put this thing together. But the most important thing to me is making sure that it's like information overload for the fighters and their families. It's been so long, a century, since boxing has had anything that could help out the fighters and educate them to protect themselves. So to be the guy to introduce that in different ways, writing the book and doing the podcast and doing the audio book and the documentaries and now doing like a short film, it's mesmerizing for me to accomplish all these things, and I just hope that everyone absorbs it, man. And it's flattering to get the emails and the DMs from all over the globe with people just saying like, thank you for this book, thank you for the audio book. Like, that's meaningful to me. So already kind of just changing the dynamic of how business is done from the fighter standpoint means a lot to me. So from the Richard M. Borchert Fairgrounds in Robstown, man, this has just been amazing for me. And I hope that Protect Yourself at All Times is amazing and life-changing for you guys going forward. And we're gonna keep the content rolling, man, until we can't anymore. So thank you everyone for the support. All of my guys, Mark Murphy, Desi Martinez, Stephen Phillips, Mike Tish, Dr. James Reed, my mom and my dad, Rita Bailey, everyone that just had a hand in Protect Yourself at All Times. My man Mark Abram, who started with me, Jolene Mazzone, Kathy Duva, Rob Diaz, Eric Gomez, Brad Goodman, and everybody. The list can just keep going on. How all you guys had a hand in Protect Yourself at All Times, whether you know it or not. That's just meaningful to me, and that's it, man. That's it. This is it.